My name is Joan Houghtaling, and we live at White Fluff Ranch, and we foster small dogs from rescues such as Underdog Rescue, American Maltese, and Royal Pet Rescue. And we save dogs from high-kill shelters, and we find nice homes for them. We make sure they have good homes, and the rescue does too.
And I'm Mike Houghtaling, along with my partner Joan Houghtaling, and we're taking a dream and making it into reality. We dreamed about saving these little dogs, and now we're doing it and finding trailer homes for them. We have 11 dogs here right now. 8 dogs are ours and 3 are fosters.
Tell us about that little dog you got in your lap right now.
This little dog here is Grace Houghtaling. Grace was in Utah as best friends. She was a dog that was already given up. She was not going to be socialized. Didn't see any way to rehabilitate her. And basically, Grace was just going to exist and be surrounded by big dogs. And when we saw her, we said, we can help that dog. And a lady says, no one will adopt that dog. We said, we will adopt that dog. They told us that she was the most unadoptable dog they had. And as you can see, she came with the GPS. She'd run and hide like a feral cat. And as you can see today, she's with Mom and me and having a beautiful time, beautiful life.
What is it that makes Grace so special?
Go ahead.
Oh, Grace was a breeder for 8 years in a puppy mill. She was constantly bred. She did not have any human contact. And that's probably why she was the way she was. All her calcium was depleted. She has 6 teeth. She was in really bad shape when Best Friends got her. That's where we got her from, in Kanab, Utah.
I have worked with animals for many years with my dad, who was a horse trainer. I've never seen the dog's tail stuck on the belly. She was shaking so much when we first got her that one would actually thought she was having seizures, but she wasn't. She was that scared of being alive. And now, later on, her started coming around. We thought she had a broken tail. Well, we got a little foster in and became our dog, Lola. She became Lola's mom, her second mom. And now she has a full tail like a Maltese does, like a C curve. She is a happy little girl. When she goes out in the dog yard here, she runs around. And sometimes when no one's around, she'll lay down and roll on her back and just stick her paws up to the air, saying, oh, how lucky I am to be here at the White Fluff Ranch.
Grace is still a little shy around people, is that right?
Of course, yes.
How do you rehab a dog like this?
Well, when we first got her, from the very first day, we had her sleeping between our heads. We were on an RV heading home. And so she sleeps between our heads every night, and we assure her that we love her. And we've always been very kind to her. And I think that really helps a lot. Love does amazing things.
What do these dogs and what does Grace do for you guys?
Grace, I think, is if you have problems and you have difficulties in your life, you realize once you're with Grace, you have no problems, you have no difficulties. And those are fosters in the background barking.
And sometimes when I wake up and I'll just hold a dog, and it just makes me feel more secure. Of course, I hold my husband too, but it's nice that we both have the same interests. It's really wonderful.
So how do you go about finding good owners for these dogs?
Well, we work with very reputable rescues, and we get applications. They put us into something called petfinders.com and Rescue Me, and so the public they'll choose what breed they want on the computer, and there'll be a list of where these dogs are. Also, Facebook is wonderful for networking, and I have a small dogs group on there, and just general things on there. Like, for instance, Sugar came and was a transport. There were 4 transporters from Florida Transport on Facebook that brought her here. So it takes a whole network of different people in rescue to make this all possible. Well, I know that Maltese they don't recommend young children with Maltese. Not because of the dog, but because of the children. You need to be very gentle with the dogs. Small dogs are delicate.
How much work does it take to accommodate 11 dogs?
Well, when we first get fosters in, we're very fortunate and very blessed that we have a separate building to quarantine them in, so that our dogs won't get sick. We can make sure that they have everything that they need as far as their shots, and they don't have anything like kennel cough. And if they do, we can fix it, and they're separated. So that works out really well for us.
We have some real great veterinarians here in Sarasota to help us do these things.
That's right.
And vet techs too, technicians.
Yeah. It is so much better to adopt than to shop for a dog. There's an old wives' tale or wives' tale, I'm not sure what it is, that that they come with problems. Well, they might, but they're sensitive dogs. They're learners. You can choose. You can tell from the very beginning. As you can see, Lola's licking you, and you can tell when you see a dog, and when you get it from a reputable rescue, like say American Maltese Association Rescue or Underdog Rescue or Royal Pet Rescue, you know that these dogs have been well taken care of, and there's a whole list. They get questionnaires about the people that are wanting to adopt, and what they're looking for, what we're looking for. For instance, Sugar was a street dog in Pensacola, so we're looking for someone that has a fenced-in yard. Now, these dogs are not to be left alone outside, but if the dog were to get out, there would be a fence as a barrier. As you can see where we are, this is a gated place here, and that was for the dogs. Our life is really around helping dogs.
I think you'll find that a rescue dog, they've been through so much. To find someone that loves them and will take care of them, they give you triple, if not 100 times more than you give them.
And on the couch here, all these dogs here are rescues, and they're wonderful dogs. Yeah. Angel at the beginning we used to call her the feral cat, and then we start calling Grace the feral cat. But you can see how wonderful Angel is. It just takes time, patience, and love. And then Minnie Mouse, she had 5 babies like 6 weeks ago. And I just took a look in her eyes. She was going to be a foster, and I took a look in her eyes, and we both fell in love with her, and we said we really wanted to keep her. We just knew what she had been through. We just could feel it.
We have visited many places, and one of our significant places that helped us make the decision was we visited a lady up north in Pennsylvania. Her name is Stephanie Small, but we call her Saint Stephanie. She takes the dogs that have medical problems, and she takes care of them. She just does a wonderful job. She's been involved in rescue for years. And if we have a question, she's only a phone call away.
And there's people around here too, like Christine Engels in Arcadia. She has a hospice for dogs. She takes older dogs in and helps them. There's a lot of loving people. And it's wonderful to have, especially if you have very small family. So we have kind of a family of dog rescuers, that we have this in common.
So it takes a community for one of these dogs to be rehabilitated and be able to go out and be socialized and get back in the community. It's not just us doing it, it's all of us doing it.
You said a hospice for dogs?
Yes.
I can't even imagine what that's like.
Well, and Stephanie in Pennsylvania does that too. She has a dog now that American Maltese Association Rescue took in, and the reason why she's able to have that dog is because people donate money, because that dog is blind, that dog is deaf. The dog had to have the eyes removed, you know, but the dog has a quality life with Stephanie. The dog is happy and gets along with the other dogs, and sometimes what happens in this throwaway society is a dog may get older, or the dog may have a problem, or somebody may move, or there's a baby, or they don't like the way the dog looks, and they just bring a dog to a shelter. A lot of these shelters are high-kill shelters. They don't realize that when they drop a dog off, that dog could very well be euthanized.
And I was going to say and add that when we had Baby, which was a therapy dog, we took her into where she worked, and a man who I went by many a times, many a days and weeks, never heard a word out of his mouth. He just sit there in a state with his eyes open. When she brought the dog in, and she started taking his hand and petting the dog, his eyes cleared up, and he started saying, I had a dog too. And you could see the smile on his face looking at the dog. And after the dog left, he went back. So if we can bring a little bit of joy, even for a few moments, or for a few minutes, or hours, or days, or weeks, or years, I think what we're doing is worthwhile.
Yeah. And like Baby went to the Pines, to the nursing home there, and assisted living, and she was just a wonderful support for these people. There's some people that are in nursing homes, assisted living, that just adore dogs and they can't have them. And so it's a wonderful gift of love to be able to bring a dog and to see people there. You know, someday we could all be in that situation.
I'll be glad to bring a dog for me. Hope they let me keep him.